¿A dónde está papi? Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday evening. How's it going, everybody? Welcome, Mayhem Hippie, Bipedal Meatbag, Cosmic Seeking. How's it going, everybody? Just had a bit of a hiccup here, but I think we're good. Okay. Still trucking at 22:15. Sheesh. All right. Hopefully, we've got all our little technical difficulties figured out. Okay. Is this a place for people with differing opinions, or is this more of an echo chamber kind of stream, as has been banned by multiple multiple channels? Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Anyone want to take a bet on how long it's going to take? Three channels, two of which banned me for saying I don't think capitalism is that bad. I don't think it's as simple as that. I want to have a differing opinion, but it doesn't come here. I mean, people can have different opinions. Just understand that I'm going to push back if it's bad. I'm going to push back on bad ideas. That's kind of how that works. If you say something clownish, I'm gonna point it out. Capitalism is just an economic system. I don't think it's just that. Some leftists, well, see, that's just an ad hominem. If you can't make your point without making like insults, then why would anybody listen to you? Do I have to spend my own money to stream my opinions and videos within DMCA? Did you read the entirety of what I said? I'm pretty sure I can read. I'm saying you're making ad hominem attacks. And what part of that is incorrect? But I do not insult any other streamer at all. I'm starting to think I understand why. Did you read the entirety of what I said? Yes, I have eyeballs. How is it an ad hom if it's true? Well, how do you know it's true? First of all. And second of all, an ad hom is an ad hom regardless. what is the definition of an ad hominem? Alio with the 12 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do have and spend my own money to stream my opinions and videos with DMCA. Yeah, leftism equals mental illness. Oh, well, see, but that's not what that means. No, that's not what that word means. You got to pedant debate me, bro? Nah, they're not even like pedants. They're not even pedants because like at least a pedant like making pedantic arguments would be like, arguing over like semantics. This is just literally ad hominems. Like this literally should not be paid attention to. This is clown level logic being displayed here. How's it going, Carpe? What's a debate me, bro? Wait until they realize conservatism is this. Yeah, but I mean, it's just like conservatism is just bad. It's just wrong. Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm trying to say. However, the word leftist does not actually mean mental illness, right? Like, that's not true, and you're being very dishonest by saying that. You know that, right? You're being, well, this got spicy quick. Oh yeah. So you're acknowledging that you're being dishonest, right? You're being you have to acknowledge that you're being dishonest by making the statement leftism equals mental illness, because that's not what the word mental illness means. And you also made a fallacious argument by saying if someone is a leftist, then they're crazy. How do you, like, none of these things make any sense at all, nor are they related. Good. Why are you here? Good. Why are you here? Damn, you can't take the heat? You can't take the heat because I didn't ban you immediately? Damn. What a little fucking snowflake. Damn. You get pushed back for 5 seconds and you're like, oh man, you're a little bitch. I'm gonna go watch whoever the fuck. Because you sound like a cringy millennial because I can't defend any of my points. Yeah, dude. Go. I can't defend any of my points, so I'm just gonna call him a little bitch and then go somewhere else. Damn, dude, what a fucking snowflake. Oh man, I should have made a gamba to see how long they would last in here. That's a shame. Nah, you sound cringe? Okay. Those aren't arguments. None of what you have said are arguments, my dude. They're just ad homs. What are you, like 5? How old are you, 10? French? Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, maybe they mean French fries. I have no idea. That's why I do have to spend my own money to stream my opinions within DMCA on Twitch. Wait, what do you mean? Like spend money on stuff like equipment? Yeah. Heat, how's it going? Are you debating with a bot? No, no, this is just a troll. This is just a troll. That's all. They're deep in the capitalist realist cope. Maybe. Maybe there's truth to that, but I honestly think they're just here to troll. It's okay. It's okay. X Zanny, thank you for the follow. Yeah, they want to French me. I don't know what that means, but the internet and the computer, as every streamer does. Yeah. That's true. Okay, now I know what you're saying, Alio. Yeah. The we spend money to stream our opinions and then get borked by the MCA. Yeah, sexy time, and then comes a hot tub stream. Howdy, I came to pet the trolls. Ooh, a little too late. They couldn't handle the heat. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I don't know what a lame would mean. But again, none of these are arguments. I mean, you could make statements, but none of these are arguments, and none of this makes sense. So I don't know why anybody would even like entertain you and take you seriously. Weren't you saying that you couldn't handle it, so you were gonna go watch someone else, whoever the fuck that is? Why are you still here? Are you trying to just help me like get more metrics? You sound like a emoji. What does an emoji sound like? That's interesting. That's the first one I've been told. According to my calculations, sounding head ass lol I'm skull face. Okay. Sure, buddy. You make perfect sense, dude. You make absolute sense. No, keep going. Keep going. You know, what better way to support leftism? What better way to support leftism by continuing to add metrics to the chat and viewership? Absolutely. You keep it up, my friend. You're doing a phenomenal job. You're doing an absolute job. Please, thank you. Everybody, round of applause. Round of applause. Does your mom know you're on Twitch right now? Wait, yeah, how old are you? Are you like 12? Because that's against Twitch TOS. You're like, are you like 12? Because you sound 12. How dare we expect more of our education system? No, you can't take anything of what this person says seriously. This is just for entertainment, okay? This is only for entertainment. Yeah, just super duper starved for attention. The only person starved for attention right now is clearly me, and I'm loving it, okay? Because let me have my opinions is giving me all the attention I need, and they're helping me out over here by being a wonderful comrade, and truly being a supporter of leftist causes by continuing to type in chat and adding to the viewer count. I mean, honestly, just another round of applause. Really. Just another round of applause for our friend over here. Excellent stuff. Riveting. Truly. People are like, you are why my kids don't want kids. True. I'm not giving you any free clout anymore. You're still here and you're still typing. So yeah, you kind of are. Keep it up, my friend. Keep going. Come on. What's wrong? What's wrong? Come on. Keep it going. I dabbed on, and you're still typing and giving me viewership. Keep it going. Come on. You're still typing. Excellent. No, you just keep it up, okay? All you have to do is just keep up making clownish comments so that my metrics stay up. and you're doing a fantastic job, okay? Lame, me, ADT, for real. Yeah, that's exactly what they sound like. A lame. Yeah, a lame. Just one, a single lame. A singular lame. Bipedal with the 100 biddies. I didn't know you were a comic too. Listen, the material writes itself, right? The material writes itself. I didn't even realize this. I didn't even realize I needed this in my life, but I'm dying over here. Oh man, I aim to please, okay? I aim to please. Alright. What a phenomenal opener to the stream. Absolutely freaking great. Love it. Love it. Freaking love it. Yeah, are you not entertained, chat? The Dweeb Hunter. That's right. This clown thought that he could walk into this channel and get a reaction. Oh, no, no, no. You have no power here. As soon as I saw a screen name, I knew we were in for a laugh. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Excuse me, are differencing of opinions allowed here? He's still lurking? Yeah, I know. He's a phenomenal supporter. Just by being a viewer, just phenomenal. Excellent. He's being a true comrade of leftism by continuing to support this channel by viewing it, even if it's lurking. Get dirty lurker came to get learned. I think yeah. I should be thanking him. That's right, Wolf Glenn. I should be thanking him for the content and humor. All right, that alone should just continue the support. Yeah, he should definitely follow, add to the metrics, subscribe, and while he's at it, since since clearly he's such a wonderful supporter and viewer, he should also do a bunch of gifted subs. Which will me learn to walk. To talk left, and it's not an illness. Yeah, no. It's the classic meme. Okay, the classic ableist meme, right? Just to be clear, political ideologies do not equal like mental illness. Okay, I'm just saying. MAGA is a cult. That's different. The Republican Party is a cult. That is a different categorization altogether. Trying to be precise with my language here. Trying to be. Yeah, subscribe and give like what, 12 gifted subs? There we go. Came into the wrong channel today. Shame. I'll take Venmo too. How long have we been live? Maybe 20 minutes? Not counting the we've been live. The stream has been up for 32 minutes. The 10-minute-ish screen is for the waiting screen. So we've been live, let's say about 20 minutes. That's it. That's all the fun? That's all the fun we got? Damn. That's a shame. Couldn't even last 20 minutes. For shame. I'll take your votes with my progressive and leftist ideas. True. Or they can stream. Yeah, they're absolutely free to do so, although something tells me that they would be yeeted very, very quickly. Something tells me that they would be yeeted off the platform very quickly. Alright. That was a good meme, alright? That was a riveting opener. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I guess we'll get into the serious stuff, right? I guess. You left them in the dust, yes. And that, folks, is how you properly deal with trolls, okay? That's what you gotta do. Alright, folks. Let's get into it, yeah? Steve Bannon, let's talk about our friend over here. Steve Bannon expected to surrender to New York prosecutors. Steve Bannon, the former advisor to President Trump, is expected to surrender to prosecutors in New York on Thursday. Tomorrow, sources familiar with the matter confirmed to ABC News. The details of the charges are unclear. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we are. The sources confirmed to ABC News that the charges being brought by the Manhattan District Attorney Office stem from federal prosecution of Bannon over We Build the Wall, an online fundraising campaign for a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Yeah, this has been a thing for quite some time. So I guess it finally caught up to him. In the federal case, Bannon was accused of defrauding donors and using the money for personal expenses. No way. Wow. Surprise Pikachu face. One of the closest advisors to one of the biggest con men to exist. Did a con. Wow. Surprise. Surprise Pikachu face. This is my shocked face. Wow. No way. Trump pardoned Bannon because, of course, nothing suspect on his final day, but the two co-defendants who did not receive pardons pled guilty. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so he was investigated for that and ended up being pardoned by Trump. But now, okay, so now I'm understanding it. I got my I got my ducks in a row. Okay, so now this is the state charges that he has to handle, which cannot be pardoned by the presidential pardon. Echo Wrestler Dragon, how's it going? They got the snake soil salesman. Well, they got one of them. Are we pretending to we're pretending to be shocked? Yeah, just do one of those. No way. Wow. The pardon only applies to federal cases, so it does not preclude the state charges, the specifics of which were not immediately clear. The Manhattan District Attorney Office had no comment when reached by ABC News. Bannon, via a spokesperson, issued a statement to ABC News on Tuesday saying that in part this is nothing more than a partisan political weaponization of the criminal justice system. Wait, but like you did the thing, right? You did the thing. The only thing that saved you was a presidential pardon, and that was only to prevent you from getting federal charges. Okay? but the state can still charge you. So you're just big mad that, some type of accountability kind of is coming down on you. That's really what it is. There's no weaponization because of his politics. It's because he's a criminal, okay? And he's engaging in fraud. That's why. That's it. Like, why is that such a hard thing to imagine, right? It's the same thing with the Trump investigation, right? They're just investigating him because he's Trump and he's a Republican, so they're weaponizing the DOJ. No, they're investigating him because, yeah, he's acting suspect. That's what happens. If you didn't do anything suspect, you wouldn't invite the FBI to execute a search warrant in your home. I certainly haven't done anything suspect. I don't have the FBI looking into me. I'm clutching my pearls. Yeah, if he's sus, exactly. If you act sus and you attract the attention of the FBI, it's not because of your political affiliation, it's because you're doing sketchy stuff. Which he has a history of doing sketchy stuff. Accepting a pardon is basically an admission of guilt. It is an admission of guilt. Yeah, basically. I would say that asking for a pardon, because why else would you need one, right? The question then becomes, why would you need one if there's nothing to pardon for? If you didn't do anything that would necessitate a pardon, why would you ask for one, or why would you require one? The Washington Post was the first reported the news. Bannon, who served as Trump's chief strategist before departing the White House, was found guilty. So he was found. He was found guilty of defying a subpoena. Of defying a subpoena from the House, the committee investigating the January 6th attacks, insurrection. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. This is separate though. Bannon was subpoenaed by the January 6th panel for records and testimony in September of 21. After the House representatives voted him in contempt, defying the subpoena, the Justice Department charged him with 2 counts of criminal contempt of Congress. Okay. So there's another update. Glad to see that there is a possibility of some type of accountability. They only know the Fifth Amendment. True. That's right. And the second. I don't even know if they understand that one either, to be honest. They love their bare arms. That's right. Okay. I support the right to arm bears. True. I support that as well. Elected officials and police chiefs leaked on Oath Keepers list. To the surprise of nobody, a leaked list of members of the Oath Keepers, which are a far-right militia, some of which participated in the insurrection on January 6th, to the surprise, I hope, to the surprise of nobody, there's cops and military servicemen. But let's get into it. The names of hundreds of hundreds. Holy yikes! Oh man. Okay, maybe it was a little worse than I originally perused. Hey, get back here. Okay. It was definitely worse than what I perused. Okay. The names of hundreds of U.S. law enforcement officers, elected officials, nice, and military members appear on the leaked membership roll of a far-right extremist group that's accused of playing a key role in the January 6th insurrection. Yeah, they played several roles and absolutely had, at the very least, plans on January 6th should things go south. I believe, was it the Oath Keepers or the other? It's so hard to keep up with how many far right militias. Let me see. I think that these guys. Oh yeah. Okay, so these were the guys. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the testimony from one of the PR people or something like that. That was supposed to be like a PR guy for the Oath Keepers. Yeah, these people had plans, and had caches of weapons. These people were absolutely ready, and yeah, to the surprise of nobody, hundreds of law enforcement officers, elected officials, military members, and appear on a leaked membership roll. Whoever found this, like, props to them. The ADL on extremism poured over 38,000 names on leaked Oathkeeper membership lists and identified more than 370 people it believes currently work in law enforcement. So they're not ex-law enforcement, current law enforcement, including police chiefs, sheriffs, which are, I guess, a leadership position, and more than 100 people who are current members of the military. In other words, active. Not ex, not veterans, active members. It also identified 80 people who were running for office or served in public office as early as August. The membership information was compiled into a database and published by the Transparency Collective Distributed Denial of Secrets. Nice. The data raises fresh concerns about the presence of extremists in law enforcement and military who are tasked with enforcing laws and protecting the U.S. Yeah, but that's not what they do. At least police, that's not what they do. It's especially problematic for public servants to be associated with extremists. They're not associated. They are. I'm pretty sure there's way more than that in the military. Maybe. I would expect it more out of the cops than out of the military, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, this isn't association. They are members. At a time when lies about the 2020 election are fueling threats of violence, they're not just fueling threats of violence. They're manifesting themselves into real life incidents. The most recent one was that Ohio one. I'm sure there's way more than that in the military, perhaps. I guess this is just what they were able to confirm. Lies about the 2020 election are fueling threats of violence against lawmakers and institutions. Even for those who claim to have left the organization when it began to employ more aggressive tactics in 2014, it is important to remember that Oath Keepers have espoused extremism since their founding, and this fact was not enough to deter these individuals from signing up. Yeah, to begin with. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Appearing in the Oath Keepers database doesn't prove that a person was ever an active member of the group or shares its ideology. Some people on the list contacted by the AP said that they were brief members years ago and no longer affiliated with the group. Some said they were never due paying members. Yeah, but then why are you on these lists, right? You must have gone to some place to sign up, meaning you were interested. Their views are far too extreme, said Sean Mobley, a sheriff of Otero County. Mobley told the AP in an email that he distanced himself from the Oath Keepers years ago over concerns about its involvement in the standoff against the federal government at Bundy Ranch in Bunkerville, Nevada, among other things. The Oath Keepers were founded in 2009 by Stuart Rhodes, who is, I think this is the guy who's being charged with sedition. Is a loosely organized conspiracy theory field group that recruits. Yeah, I don't know if loosely organized is a way I would describe these people. I think they're very organized. I think that they know exactly what they're doing. Conspiracy field group that recruits current and former military, police officers, and first responders. It asks its members to vow to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yikes. Yikes. Where was that on January 6th? It promotes the belief that the federal government is out to strip citizens of civil liberties and paints its followers as defenders against tyranny. Oh man, the irony. The irony. More than two dozen people associated with the Oath Keepers, including Rhodes, have been charged in connection with the January 6th insurrection. Rhodes and 4 other Oath Keeper members or associates are heading to trial this month on seditious conspiracy charges for what, sedition, for what prosecutors have described as week-long plots to keep then-President Trump in power. Rhodes, on the other hand, Rhodes and the other Oath Keepers say that they are innocent and that there was no plan to attack on the Capitol, except there was. There's communication. This was like public. This was well known. So much irony that my clothes are still wrinkling.
Please clap.
The Oath Keepers have grown quickly along with the wider anti-government movement and use the tools of the internet to spread their message during Obama's presidency, said Rachel Carroll Rivas, an interim deputy director of the research of the Southern Poverty Law Center Intelligence Project. But since January 6th and Rhodes' arrest, the group has struggled to keep members. That's partly because the Oath Keepers have been associated so strongly with Rhodes that the removal of the central figure had an outsized impact, and partly because many associated with the group were often those who wanted to be considered respectable in their communities. Yeah. The image of being associated with January 6th was too much for these folks. I don't want to be at work anymore. I feel that. Among the elected officials whose name appears on the membership list is South Dakota State Representative Phil Jensen, who won a June Republican primary for his bid for re-election. Jensen told the AP that he paid for a 1-year membership but never received any Oath Keeper literature, attended any meetings, or renewed his membership. No, he just financially supported them. Nice. The FBI got dozens of calls warning that the attack was going to happen. Oh yeah, and these people were absolutely organized. They had caches of weapons. And they called what they had like rapid deployment force or rapid response force or something like that. Yeah, these people are absolutely coordinated and ready. Jensen said he felt compelled to join because he believed, so he did join. Okay. He believed in the oath that we took to support the U.S. Constitution and defend it against enemies, foreign and domestic. He wouldn't say whether he now disavows the Oath Keepers, saying he doesn't have any information about the group today. What? Bro. Where were you, my dude? Yeah, this tells me that he does support it but doesn't want to say that he does. Because it's bad PR now. Back in 2014, they appeared to be a solid conservative group, and I can't speak to them now. What do you mean? But so now what? Now what's changed? The ADL said it found the names of at least 10 people who now work as police chiefs and 11 sheriffs. All of the police chiefs and sheriffs who responded to the AP said they no longer have any ties to the group. I don't even know what they're posting. I never get any updates, said Mike Hollinshead, sheriff of Idaho's Elmore County. I'm not paying dues or membership fees or anything. Yeah, okay. Hollinshead, a Republican, said he was campaigning for sheriff several years ago. When voters asked him if he was familiar with the Oath Keepers, Hollinshead said he wanted to learn about this group and recalls paying for access to content on the Oath Keepers website, but that was the extent of his involvement. Yeah, they know they're wrong. That's why they have to keep using dog whistles, right? Yeah, I don't know. You know, don't ask me questions, okay? Don't ask me these uncomfortable questions. I don't know enough about them, but also I respected them in 2014. Yeah, okay. Eric Williams, Benjamin Book, a police chief in Oskaloosa, Iowa, recalled getting emails from the group years ago, said he believes a friend may have signed him up. What? Okay, come on. Yeah, I too remember getting emails about groups that I want no affiliation with, but somehow managed to get it in my email because my friend signed me up. Yeah, okay. This is like akin to saying that like my dog ate my homework or something. Okay? He believes a friend may have signed him up. If I was getting emails from a group like the Oath Keepers, I would immediately want to know how the heck that happened and like unsubscribe from them. Eric Williams, police chief in Idaho, Texas, also said in an email that he hasn't been a member or any interaction with the Oath Keepers in over 10 years. He called the storming of the Capitol terrible in every way. I pray this country finds its back to civility and peace in discourse with one another. Yeah, but with just one tiny problem, my dude, my brother in Christ. One tiny problem. The far right is not interested in this. Okay? And it's like, why can't you just say the far right made a blatant and overt attack on this democratic institution. I use air quotes because, well, listen, it's as close whatever semblance of democratic institutions, whatever veneer of democratic institutions, the perception of democratic institutions was attacked. That's it. That's the reality. Why can't you just say that? Well, I don't know. You know, this country needs to just be back to civility. Like, well, you tell me how you're going to deal with conspiracy theory fueled insurrectionary behavior. You tell me. Greetings from Scranton, PA. How's everybody in here? Hey, howdy. Welcome. It's been a minute, my friend. Yeah, and Trump is not Christ-like. Well, to these people, he is. To these people, he is. Okay, hold on. This just came up in my feed. we're going to take a second to look at this in a moment. So yeah, it turns out that a lot of these folks, hundreds of these, are police officers who have been either in this group. Hey, come back. Have either been in this group, associated with this group, have donated to this group, along with politicians and military, active military. That is just wild to me. That is just wild to me. Be right back. Work phone call. Okay. I'm pretty sure Trump is the last plague. Jesus did not love money and did not vilify anyone except the mean and or phony exclusionary religious people.
Marco Rubio.
Ah, Jesus. I swear, these ads sometimes. Whew. All right, let's take a look.
A holiday as a payoff to the organized crime / labor unions.
Newsmax host Eric.
Yes. Oh, that's phenomenal stuff. Unions are crime organizations. Nice.
Labor Day became a holiday as a payoff to the organized crime / labor unions.
Newsmax host Eric Bolling lost his mind.
Okay, hold on. First of all, this is some 1984 shit. So, just to clarify, organized crime is usually a complex of highly centralized enterprises set up for the purpose of engaging in illegal activities. Labor unions are protected by the law. Unionization is, on paper, protected by the law. Such organizations engage in offenses such as theft, fraud, robbery, kidnapping, and things like that. Which labor unions do not do any of these. Therefore, labor unions are not organized crime, so we can already disregard this clown's framing right off the bat, to begin with. But I just want to make sure that we're very clear here. But then how do you actually bring these parties together? Obviously, these people and the Stop the Steal stuff is just crazy talk, but it's not crazy to them. How do you convince those people and offer them an avenue to change while not appearing to appease them and alienate the opposite extreme? You can't. I don't know if it's possible. When you're so deep down in the cult, unless you want to change, unless you want to be the one to get out of the cult, it's incredibly difficult. And like talking to these people just makes them dig their heels in, right? Especially those types, those types who are like seriously about like election fraud and things like that. Like, it's there's no point. There's no point in trying to change their mind per se. You can leave especially if you know a person, or if you have like contact, like a one-to-one. You might be able to just kind of leave the door open if they ever want to leave the cult. But the reality is, like, you're not gonna rationalize your way out of something so irrational. Yeah, there we go. Bipedal just rephrased it in a more cohesive way. You can't logic someone out of a situation that they weren't logicked into. Is exactly what I'm trying to say. It's an exercise in futility. But if you know this person, or if you have like one-to-one contact with this person, or with the people, sometimes it may be family members, yikes, you can leave a door, a way out. And, you know, like, listen, bro, I don't know, fam, but If you ever want to talk about it, hit me up because I can't do this right now. You know? You need to deprogram them. Yeah, but they need to want to leave the cult, right? Something needs to go into the brain and be like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna rethink the way I'm thinking right now. You know, that's just the way it is. Especially just to take like off the point that you're making, especially if they really believe it, if they're actually genuinely believing the idea that, I don't know, there was a complete stealing of this election. If they truly believe that, then you're really not going to knock them out of that position. They're gonna need to want to leave that position. They're gonna need to want to accept the reality, right? Otherwise, you're just gonna keep spinning in circles, or you're just gonna make them dig their heels even further. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Over the fact that people got a day off of work because of Labor Day. He didn't though, but that's how we got this amazing segment. So I'm going to show you this and break it down. And you know what? I got a bit of a defense of Eric Bolling here at the end. You will see. But here is his incredible segment just tearing into Labor Day.
Well, it's Labor Day. Yay! Well, not so fast. I mean,
Yay.
I get it. Some of us get the day off. Not all of us, though. But hey, if I'm not on the beach, I know where I'd rather be than right here putting a show together for you tonight. But yay. And
Damn, he sounds very salty. He sounds very salty about like people getting the day off and him actually working or something. But that's the thing. I agree. You often can change people. You can't often change people. Wait, you can change people's minds. If it doesn't mend, then what happens? In the past, I've explained society like an elastic band that's around your open fingers. Some parts pull and some parts retract constantly at pressure. But if you separate your fingers and too much of the band snaps, what compromise, if any, can stop that snap? Oh, sorry. You can't change your minds. Okay. That you often can't change people's minds. Right. So what you do is you just try to you try to strengthen. You try to bolster and strengthen the numbers of rational thought as much as possible. Okay? And listen, if you know people individually, and you can try to suggest to maybe speak with them whenever they're ready, but to be quite frank, if they don't want to leave the cult, they're not going to. Yeah. Because at that point, I don't know the answer to your question, James. If anything can stop the snap, I'm not sure if that happens.
not so fast, because this day, Labor Day, became a holiday as a payoff to the organized crime / labor unions. They wanted it to be in the month of May at first, and May 1st, actually, also known as May Day, a communist holiday celebrated in much of Europe, a communist holiday celebrating communism, socialism, statism, as their day off. That right there shows you exactly what they represent. Communism, socialism, labor unionizing to wield power over employees and employers. I mean, just look at the...
What? No, that's... Okay.
Roots of May Day, also known as Labor Day. In 1889, May 1st was designated May Day, a day in support of workers by an international federation of socialist groups and trade unions in commemoration of the Haymarket Affair, a violent confrontation that took place on May 4th, 1886 in Chicago. Here in America, labor unions, who operated much like socialism, wanted their day of...
Do they have a quota on how many times they need to say communist? Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just to scare people. It's like, look, my dude. Yeah, labor unions fought for you to have a day off, and to recognize labor. Yeah, that's a good thing. I guess gangsters back in the day actually fought for us regular folk, unlike the gangsters in government now. Yeah, no, he's trying to equivocate like labor unions to organized crime.
Of recognition, but in an effort to hide the obvious payoff to big labor, the powers that be, or were, decided to hide the corrupt union extortion by making the day off from work the first day in September, not May 1st, a work holiday now known as Labor Day. So yeah, Tucker took the day off to celebrate the labor unions, their corrupt history, and their mafia crime family origins. And yeah, he's replaying some stale old interviews, but I thought we should be here.
What? Okay. Sure, buddy. Let them fight? Okay.
For you with a brand new show.
All right, so I'm going to get to a bit of history, and I'm also going to show you maybe a different position from Eric Bolling a few years ago when he was working at Fox News. But before I get there, look, in his defense, if he truly hates, as he says, I believe he hates unions, he hates communists, he hates socialists, then he's working Labor Day. He's being principled by not taking the day off and actually working Labor Day, while Tucker Carlson also hates unions, hates communists, hates socialists, yet he took the day off. So in Eric Bolling's defense, he is somebody who actually is, putting his money where his mouth is. That said, I'm not sure it was really his decision to work that day. I feel like it was more of a Newsmax corporate decision to work that day. But regardless, he worked on Labor Day while, hating on those that brought him Labor Day. So I guess good on him. But also, look, a lot of the history he brings up here is not wrong. He's correctly identifying that unions, communists, and socialists brought the world a Labor Day. In some places, May Day. So
yep.
I gained 90 pounds.
I don't want Nutrisystem. Stop it.
Wrong. This is correct. Yet, just the weird thing is he's framing it in a way as you should be angry about this. You should be pissed off at the unions, at the communists, at the socialists that they gave you this day off. Not to mention, when I get to more of the history here, weekends, child labor laws, workplace safety laws. Like, to get angry about this, what's the audience here? Who's the audience for Newsmax? I have to imagine it's mostly retirees that I guess, I don't know, don't recognize that they benefited from these things as well when they were working. At this point, don't care at all because they're retired. I don't know, but like, how can you possibly vibe with this idea that you should be hating on Labor Day, hating on a day off work, when Americans are some of the most worked people in the world? And I'll get to a bit on that in a second as well. But first here, look, this graphic, just hilarious. Labor Day equals anarchy, as Jason Campbell writes here, hating a day off to own the libs. And, it's also worth mentioning, there's two moments in this segment, or I mean, there's several, but two stood out to me. At one point he says, labor unionizing to wield power over employers, as if he caught himself saying employees when he meant to say employers, because of course unions are not to wield power over employees, over the workers. They're to give workers a voice and wield power over employers who have all the power in a workplace unless there is a union. Again, who is this message for? Like, all this anger, all this resentment towards Labor Day, it's either targeted at those that don't know anything, which I have to imagine is a large portion of the Newsmax audience, but also targeted just at
boomers,
capital owners, at shitty bosses. So it's just this bizarre idea that working people to the bone is somehow beneficial to anyone. I mean, there's a lot of I don't have this in this segment, but maybe I should have included it. There's a lot of these trials now for 4-day work weeks, and they are all working out. I mean, look up 4-day work week result, and you will see that not even just the employees, of course, are happy, but even the employers are happy. They're seeing their workers actually being more productive because they have that extra day off. They feel like they are respected in the workplace in a way they weren't respected before. They feel more agency over their own lives.
Yeah, not only that, it definitely helps with the work-life balance, because, like, yeah, this is excellent. U.S. approval of labor unions at the highest point since 1965. 71% of Americans now approve of labor unions. 40% of union members say their membership is extremely important, so that's like a huge chunk. Employee engagement higher among non-union workers. 71% of Americans now approve of labor unions. So yeah. Based. Newsmax is for people who think Fox went woke. True. Although statistically similar to last year, 68%. It is up from 64 before the pandemic, and it's as high. It is the highest Gallup has ever recorded on this measure since 1965. Nice. These data are from Gallup's annual work and education survey collected August 1st to 23. The latest approval figure comes amid a burst of 2022 union victories across the country with high-profile successes at major American corporations such as Amazon and Starbucks. The NLRB reported a 57% increase in union election petitions filed during the first 6 months of fiscal year 2021. Nice. Support for labor unions was highest in the 1950s when 3 in 4 Americans said they approved. Support only dipped below the 50% mark once in 2009, but has improved in the 13 years since, and now sits at a level last seen nearly 60 years ago. Nice. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. 16% of Americans lived in a household where at least one resident is a union member. This includes U.S. adults who report that they themselves are a union member, 6%. Those who say someone else is in their home is a member, and those who say they and someone else in their home belongs to a union. The net 16% union household figures within the 14 to 21% range Gallup has recorded since 2001. Gallup also polled union members and non-union members in June 13 to 23 in a separate online Gallup panel survey about union membership. Membership is highest among the frontline and production workers, of whom 1 in 5, or 20%, are union members. About 1 in 10 workers in healthcare and social assistance, 13%, white-collar positions, 11%, and administrative and clerical roles are 10% union members. Workers in managerial roles, 6%, are the least likely to be members of unions. Yeah, I can take a little gander at why. Just saying. Maple Leaf Dragon, how's it going? Now all we need is bigger teeth in the NLRB and more assertiveness in workers for unionization. Oh yeah, I think that these unionization efforts that have been going across the country are doing great, and they should continue. 2 in 5 union members say membership is extremely important. Among union members, 2 in 5, or 40%, rate their membership as extremely important, or as a 5 on a 5-point scale, with another 28% rating it a 4. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. In contrast, just 1 in 10 rated as not important at all, a rating of 1 on the scale. Yeah, like these two, 4 and 5, are huge. Union members were also asked which of various potential reasons for joining a union are most important to them. Their top answers are better pay and benefits and employee rights and representation based. More than a third of union members cite job security, nice, and better pension and retirement benefits are as reasons for joining a labor union. I mean, but yeah, that's like retirement and pensions are benefits. Like that should be under this. Meanwhile, about 1 in 4 list improving the work environment, 25%, and fairness and equality at work, 23%. Few members select health and safety or unions having a positive effect on the country as reasons to join. Yeah, I mean, that's what unions are for. They're meant to be a method for employee representation, employee rights, to obtain benefits, better benefits, pay, and job security. That's the whole point. It's the attempt to level the playing field. That's what it is. Now, it would be nice if the NLRB had much more tools at its disposal to enforce and even have better methods of enforcing labor laws. That would be great. But yeah, super relevant. So this Newsmax host can absolutely get fucked because nobody cares. The truth is, labor unions are incredibly popular and effective.
They're able to spend more time with their families, do their own thing. So when you actually do what is best for workers, it also benefits those at the top of these companies. Now, in some cases, maybe that isn't true. Like Amazon, I think if you work people to the bone, sending packages out same day, then that is going to ultimately benefit those at the top of the company. But in some cases, in a lot of cases, 4-day work weeks are incredibly beneficial for both the employee and the employer. But let me show you this. So I've shown this graph in other videos as well, but this is from the Economic Policy Institute. As union membership declines, income inequality increases. So this is union membership and share of income going to the top 10% from 1917 to 2019, showing you that even if you are not in a union, the existence of unions, of higher union membership, benefits all workers because it sets a standard for what is acceptable in the workplace.
Unions usually fight against ruthless capitalism. Yeah, well, unions usually give a balancing unions give a tool to balance the power of a capitalist, which is the owner, and the workers. There are also graphs out there for anyone who wants to find them that show that that's it. When it comes to union membership versus minimum wage, yep. When union membership goes down, wage inequality rises as real wages for workers, both union and non-union, collapse. Yep, there it is. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, it's just as we were getting into it. That's correct, James.
In terms of wages, in terms of workplace safety. So when you have more unions, everybody benefits. And you see that here. And this goes to 2019. In the past couple of years, we've seen more of a resurgence in terms of the push towards unionization. You saw that with Amazon. You're seeing that with Starbucks. There's like over 250, I think now, Starbucks locations that have voted to unionize. Other places as well. I think Chipotle had their first union vote as well. So you're seeing a greater push for that now. And it'll be, I want to see where this graph goes in the future if that trend continues. Because I guarantee you, if that increase in union membership continues, you're going to see the share of the income going to the top 10% decline. But that will, again, take a few years for something like that to take effect, assuming membership keeps up and this momentum continues. But a little more here on the history of how people got Labor Day, weekends, and the rest. So from Time Magazine, bumper stickers aren't known for being the most trustworthy source of historical fact, but the one that proclaims that weekends are brought to you by the labor movement gets it exactly right. If anything, it doesn't go far enough. So in the 1930s, or only in the 1930s, did the tide turn for workers with Franklin D. Roosevelt in the White House, allies in Congress, and the first female cabinet member in Secretary of Labor Frances Perkins. A series of reforms were implemented. In 1938, Congress passed the Fair Labor Standards Act that established the 8-hour day and 5-day week for wage workers. But don't solely thank the politicians. As FDR once told union and civil rights leader A. Philip Randolph, he agreed with the labor movement's ideas, but he needed the activists to go out and make me do it. So, look, there's a lot more history on this, but all history showcases that none of this would have happened if it weren't for unions, communists, and socialist groups getting together and pushing for these labor laws. So this is a lesson for today as well. You're not going to see, especially politicians now that are completely bought by massive corporations and the wealthy, they're not going to do anything for the working class unless they feel like they need to do it. So this is, again, shows you why it's important to have a strong labor movement.
Yep.
Last piece here. So compared to workers in other industrialized countries, American workers toil far more hours and receive far fewer days off. The World Economic Forum reports that U.S. workers on average labor 1,783 hours a year compared to 1,363 hours for German or 1,470 hours for French workers. According to the American Time Use Survey, in 2018, men with full-time jobs labored 8.99 hours a day and women 8.56 hours, though most women also perform several hours a day of unpaid household labor. So Americans, some of the most overworked in the developed world.
Yep.
And, it's obvious as to why. Massive corporations, as I said, and the wealthy largely control policy. Last bit here. Eric Bolling wasn't always a hater of labor, or of Labor Day, I should say. Here he is back in 2015 while he worked for Fox News saying, "Morning, everybody. Have a fabtastic Sunday and enjoy the continuation of your Labor Day weekend." I'm going to guess Eric Bolling took that Monday off.
Yeah.
But at Newsmax, he's forced to work. And
yeah, that's why he's salty.
About,
that's what it is. He's freaking salty.
Hate the unions, hate the communists, hate the socialists that got you a day off of work. Yeah, not sure that message really resonates with most people.
That's funny. Yeah, he's just salty. The same thing happens to social capital and political participation and government responsiveness. When social capital declines, more elite-leaning politics takes hold, which is why the rise of conservative politics in the 80s was actually predated by a peak and then decline in social capital in the decade before. Now that is very interesting. Very good point. The real boomer generation effect, the failure to adopt the social habits of their parents. Yep. Johnny Scarlett, rating with a party of 37. How's it going, everybody? Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Folks, if you've never seen me before, I am A Difficult Truth. We do the news, we do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys enjoy the content and want to stick around and or just want 5 free emotes, feel free to smack that follow button. I appreciate it. Johnny Scarlett, thank you so much. I appreciate that raid. Welcome. Thank you for bringing your wonderful community over. If you guys have a moment, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you. If you have a moment, head on over to twitch.tv/Johnny Scarlett. Thank you for the follow, Wade Mac. That's pretty true. Thank you for the follow. I've actually seen you in a couple of panels back when that was a thing. I don't know like how many panels shows are still a thing, and there might be like 1 or 2 out there, at least on Twitch world. But yeah, I think I've seen you in several of those. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wartime generations were big on social clubs, unions, community, church, and general activism. They typified the classic organizers of American politics, but their children didn't copy it and instead adopted a more individualistic idea, which had very real long-term effects. Although in their defense, there was no way they could have known at the time. Yeah, well. And here we are. And here we are. All right, we got one meme, and then we'll continue. Fresh off the Remix Bros. Yesterday.
There's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated.
I think there's a more polite... I find that that's a more polite way of criticizing the boomer generation than just telling them they ruined everything. Yeah, but they kinda did.
By Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. Stop MAGA! MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
Stop Make America Great Again.
They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Stop MAGA!
There's no place for political violence.
Stop Make America Great Again.
Period. None. Ever.
No.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic, this nation. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward. Put it in reverse. Now America must choose to move forward or to move backward.
Kenneth Copeland gets me.
Violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong, no matter what the white supremacists and the extremists say. I made a bet on you, and it's paying off. I believe America's at an inflection point.
That's a lot of fake news. Whoa.
I will not stand by and watch. I will not. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionists.
Stop MAGA!
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
Stop Make America.
No, we're not saying every single boomer is responsible, right? Like, this isn't an individualistic claim, if that makes sense. I've tried being polite. I just get the kids are soft these days. Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Stop MAGA.
There's no place for political violence.
Stop Make America Great Again.
Period. None. Ever.
Joe Biden came to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Hello, I wish you and everyone a good stream. Howdy, howdy. Welcome, Baston. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think Philadelphia was a great choice to make the speech of hatred. I feel like the red lion and behind him like the devil. Our country is going to hell. Biden thinks making America great again is bad for our country. MAGA, he says we've got to stop MAGA. That's when I defined it. It means make America great again. We have to stop it. Making America great again is great for our country. The danger to democracy comes from the radical left, not from the right. Stop MAGA.
Yeah, so that's hilarious. Every accusation just ends up being a confession. Interesting.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
Make America great again.
They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Stop MAGA.
There's no place for political violence.
Stop Make America great again.
Period. None. Ever. We, the people. I've come to this place where it all began. We, the people. To speak as plainly as I can. We, the people. About the power we have in our own hands. We, the people. It's within our power. It's in our hands.
Stop MAGA.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
Stop Make America great again.
They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Stop MAGA.
There's no place for political violence.
Stop Make America great again.
Period. None. Ever.
Nice. Always a banger. The Remix Pro's doing wonderful editing. Yep. Nice. Kenneth Copeland always gets me. I'm not an American, but from what I've seen, Biden is the worst American president since Bush, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Can you substantiate that, or are you just, like, saying things? The very totally normal Laura Loomer continues on Telegram to say that she won her primary. I will never concede, and mark my words, I'm not going to take this fraud and election interference anymore. Okay, what election interference? What fraud? Especially not from the GOP establishment and big tech. Okay. And nothing will ever make me change my mind. Yeah, we know, Laura Loomer. We know. Stolen elections have consequences. Uh-oh. Wait, you know what they say? Who's they? Stolen elections have consequences. Is this like an implicit threat to violence? And now they will have to deal with the consequences of stealing my election and pissing off 44% of Republican voters in my district who cannot stand demented... Oh, Jesus. Okay, demented rhinos like Daniel Webster, who literally doesn't even show up for work. Wait. Isn't that by definition the minority? First of all, this is an implicit call to violence. And second of all, if you only have 44%, I know this is, like, math is hard for these people, but 44% is not the majority. That is an admission that you did not have the majority support to win your primary. Wait, so Biden is literally the worst American president since Bush because of checks notes. I don't like his foreign policy at all. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't want to comment on their internal policy. So how do you know he's the worst president in American history? But from what I've heard, anecdotes, many people from US are dissatisfied. Dissatisfied. Yeah, I think you have to ask these people why they're dissatisfied. And second of all, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't make that claim of like this just strong claim of, oh yeah, he's just the worst American president since Bush. Like, did you just skip over Trump? Yeah, some people may have said things that agree with me, I guess. I think like many, my vote for Biden was much more of a vote against Trump. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would agree with that statement. I think I would be sympathetic to that statement, and I agree, and I've said it myself. However, I just don't see how that substantiates the claim Biden is the worst American president since Bush. We're just gonna casually skip over Trump here. That's a great meme. And the basis for this opinion is I've heard from people, from many people. So yeah, just completely you're just operating on like secondary information that you may or may not have heard, and I guess just it makes you feel that way. That's nice. Anyways, Laura Loomer, making implicit threats to violence, got it, and admitting and a tacit admission that she did not win the majority support. I've tried my best to explain, but I never meant it in history. No, I didn't say in history. I said since Bush. I completely understood you. That's not an issue. That's completely understandable. You said from Bush. I think that was pretty clear. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm just saying your justification for having that opinion seems to be made from feelings and opinions of other people. That's my argument. That's it. The voters deserve a fighter, but only 44% of them like support you. It's not the majority. America First Republican patriots reject rhinos. We only want America First fighters in Congress. So fascist. Gotcha. I'm a fascist. America First. I'm a fighter. Daniel Webster is America Last. I refuse to concede my election was stolen, and of course she doesn't present any evidence, nor has she in this entirety. And that's my final position, period. I don't negotiate with election riggers. Well, you would have to prove that. You'd have to prove that that election was finagled. I guess it's just going to be like the new norm, right? The new standard procedure is just going to be any election that I don't win is automatically rigged. And funny how people forget Bush Sr. No, they specifically said worst president since Bush. I'm going to assume that means Bush Jr. That's quite a dangerous position, not accepting losses. Yep. That is very dangerous. Can I give you guys a fun fact? It depends. Is that going to violate TOS? Those that fall for MAGA rage fiction become the vocal proponents of MAGA rage fiction. Yep. $100%. Hey, here's some cool stuff.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
I see nothing wrong with that statement. You can only buy used mirrors. That is true. That is actually a 100% verifiable fact. The worst president? Richard Nixon. Second worst, Ronald Reagan. What? Really? I don't know, fam. I have a challenge to this list. I think Ronald Reagan did way more damage. But that's just me. Honestly, if I was given an assessment from Biden's term as president so far, it's actually not been that terrible. Now, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean much because the president, despite what people think, doesn't really do that much. But the things that he has done have been all right. Sure, it always needs pressure for more, but personally, I think the Afghanistan thing was disgraceful, but also partly wasn't his fault. Yeah, I mean, like, this was a plan that was put in motion by the Trump administration already. Like that Afghanistan thing was like a continuation of like the plan that was already in motion. And furthermore, like we needed to get out of there. So what do you can't be angry that we're still in Afghanistan, and then when we finally get out, yeah, sure, you could argue that maybe things could have gone better, but we're out. Do you support Biden? I don't know what that means. What is foreign policy? U.S. presidents are the embodiment of gross hypocrisy. Given that Biden hasn't been that bad, I concur. I mean, like, the problem that I have with Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is that, like, on countless occasions, I see that he has the ability and has the authority to do more, and yet chooses and yet makes active decisions to not do things that could, benefit the country. What foreign policy are you talking about? Are you talking about like the way he's handling, like the way that he handled the Afghanistan thing? What foreign policy are you trying to refer to? I don't like his foreign policy. I don't know. Hoover and Harding are probably lower than any recent president, although I doubt history will be kind to Trump. I agree. Then again, my take on Afghanistan is pretty left field. So there's no president that would have likely appeased what I thought was a good idea. Sixth worst, James Buchanan. Oh, sorry, fourth worst. Oh, third worst, Andrew Jackson. Yeah, genocide and being a slave trader kind of. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. But how is this not like number one or at least number two? I don't know. This list is a little bit weird. Buchanan ignored California Indian genocide, incompetence, and incompetence worsening the Civil War, making the California indigenous genocide possible, provoking the U.S.-Mexico War, and expanded slavery, and partially contributed to the eventual Civil War, and was also a slave trader. Jesus Christ. Ignored the indigenous genocide, California indigenous genocide, being a presidential candidate for know-nothing terrorism. Nice. Ignored the Rwandan genocide. Ignored genocide. Jesus. Harry Truman, atomic bomb testing on Pacific Islanders. Jesus Christ. My guess would be scale fewer people in Andrew Jackson's time. Yeah, I guess that's true. GW, 11th worst. Math deaths in Hurricane Katrina, mostly preventable. Jesus Christ. Torture. Math deaths by incompetence and ideological blindness in Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Yeah, that'll do it. Is everyone counting U.S. political scandals without any? I don't know. This list yeah. To be fair, Nixon was a nasty piece of work, and he was genuinely contemplating some extremely authoritarian stuff during his final months. That's true. I'm glad your guys withdrew from Afghanistan. I don't want American soldiers to die for nothing. I'm completely against the war. However, the sanctions and support on some countries are tense. Yeah, I don't believe in sanctions, but Trump did them as well. So I don't know. Like, we're ranking presidents by inhumanity. Okay. Block law enforcement against 50,000 murders by racist terrorists during the Reconstruction. Pardon former Confederates. Dishonorable mention. Invasions of multiple Latin American nations. Forced Americanization programs against Puerto Ricans. Chemical warfare. Yikes. Deaths from internment of German Americans and dissidents. Jesus. Invasion of multiple Latin American nations. Forced American citizenship upon Puerto Ricans. Yeah, Trump would have been worse if he had a little bit more competence. Yeah, which, I mean, like, that, yeah, I agree. But I still don't underestimate at all. Like, I want Trump as far away from politics as humanly possible. Best presidents: Abraham Lincoln, Martin Van Buren, Jimmy Carter. Yeah, Jimmy Carter was actually pretty underrated, I think. Ulysses Grant, yeah. FDR. Lyndon Johnson. I'm not a Trump supporter as well. I remember that but the problem I'm having... Dark Thunder Shadowstorm, thank you for the follow, is that you made a statement that he was literally the worst president since George Bush. Okay? And your reasoning behind it was foreign policy? And then when I point out the fact that, like, a lot of the foreign policy, like, okay, sanctions, yeah, sanctions are bad, but Trump did them too. And now you're telling me I do not believe that Biden was a good president either. Well, first of all, Biden is the current president. And not being good is not the same as Trump being a horrible president. Okay? A horrible president for America and a horrible president in the world stage. On the world stage. So I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense as to how you arrived to that original statement. That's what I'm pushing back against. Jimmy Carter's still building a house at 99. Yeah, 97. Yeah, he's very old and he's still out there. Yep. Most days they'd have to carry him back to the White House because he was a notorious drunk. Sheesh, didn't know that. Have you heard the news about mass killings in Saskatchewan, where a guy went on a killing spree with a knife? I think I heard something about that. That's... Jesus. That's wild. Yikes. Biden doesn't build social fans to throw crap into order to watch it scatter. Yep. Yeah, I think I kind of heard something about that. They finally caught him. Well, that's good. Sheesh. 19? Oh my god. Yikes. It's breaking news right now. Sheesh. Agree or disagreeing with foreign policy is like agreeing or disagreeing with climate change. Way too broad of a subject. I don't know if I would like compare those. You mean like solutions to climate change? Oh, I see it. Saskatchewan authorities locate and arrest mass stabbing suspect. Wow. Sheesh. Never heard anything like what he did in America. No, we have guns. We just use guns for that. That's right. You want to talk about like a blunder of foreign policy? Donald Trump apparently has had documents in his house that describe foreign governments' nuclear capabilities. How about that for foreign policy? Yeah, I don't know if I would like equate those two things. I saw that story. Why would he have such a thing? I don't know. Why would he? That's a very good question, huh? That's a very good question. Maybe he should be forced to testify and give us a little answer under oath. That's a very good question. George Bush Sr.? What? Are these just... wait. Are these best presidents? Oh, the best president. Second best, third, fourth. I don't know. I was mostly comparing the scale of the subject, not its content. Gotcha. Okay, well, yeah, okay. Now it makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. A lot of messed up stuff, huh? A lot of messed up stuff. All right.
Fuck democracy.
I want to see Antifa members hanging
Jesus.
from gallows and Trump ties. That's what I would like to see. Yeah.
We need total dictator Trump. I seriously, and you know, there's no argument against it. Oh, the Constitution says this. It's like the Constitution is invalid.
Yes, the point of Christian nationalism, my goal, is to break American democracy.
Here would be...
Yeah. Hey, let me take a quick second. The goal of Christian nationalism... Pay attention, folks. This is important. The goal of Christian nationalism is to break American democracy. Cool. Interesting. Very cool. Let me just look up something real quick. I think this is relevant. Andrew Johnson needed to be at the top of the list. Yeah. Yeah, but I think they were like taking into consideration like scale. I mean, there was like a lot of heinous acts being around, so I guess I don't even know how you start. There are several presidents. In fact, I think a lot of those in that list either are complicit in genocide, or ignored genocide, or facilitated genocide. I mean, like, yeesh. But yeah. Hey, Memo, for the record, how's it going? Hey Siri. What was Marjorie Taylor's Greene tweet over here saying? I am being attacked by the godless left because I said I am a proud Christian nationalist. Interesting. What was that again? Hold on, I didn't hear it quite right. Let me replay that.
It's like the Constitution is invalid.
Yes, the point of Christian nationalism, my goal is to break American democracy.
Nice.
Here would be my solution. Elect a dictator, suspend the laws, dismiss the legislature, and the dictator taxes the people and uses the money to build a giant wall and uses the money to raise an army that is personally loyal to him.
People need to
Interesting. Very interesting.
be tried, convicted, and executed for treason.
The greatest example of love is to kill those traitors so others learn never to do it.
Nice. Very interesting. Threats of violence. Contempt for democracy. Cool. There are roots of proto-communism and Puritan beliefs. Interesting. The past is ugly, and I just one of many reasons CRT is probably should be taught in some kind of form. I mean, yeah, I think there's benefits of viewing things through different lenses, and one of them being, one of them using CRT.
We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts
Jesus
against
Christ.
the Constitution of the United States of America, just like they did back in 1776.
There should be military tribunals taking.
Okay, I mean, do we even bother? In fact, people who came to America really hated the celebration of Christmas, and they were alive today. They would try to cancel Christmas because it's no longer about Christ, but a party. True!
Taking place right now, and people should be arrested for high treason that's been committed at the highest levels of government. Well, personally, I think a firing squad would just be great.
Jesus
Put
Christ.
them all there, stick them up against a wall, and take them out.
What does a modern day militia look like? Because if you're like me, you see these godless commies and you're like, I want to shoot them in the face.
Yes, my political opponents, I would like to kill, please. Jesus, these people.
But because you're like me and you're a law-abiding patriot, you're not going to do that because that's illegal. Or is it?
Or is it? Oh my God. Oh my God. How are these people not arrested? This is like domestic terrorism. Just like Jesus would. True. I didn't know that, Memo, for the record. I didn't know that. Colonizer Jesus always has an arsenal. So when Biden says like MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy, Okay, I'm finally done with my 10-hour split shift. Enjoy the rest of the stream. I need to go scream into the void while I drink vodka in my hot tub. Sounds like a plan. Enjoy, my friend, and I hope you have some relaxing time. Okay?
If for any reason the President of the United States feels that it's not getting done the way it should, and decides to put out the tweet that says, "My fellow Americans, my fellow 2A loving Americans, it's time to take up arms against these assholes. You are all fucked in under an hour."
We will then collect the power needed to silence, destroy, and imprison our political opposition.
Nice. Yeah. So when I say that these people do not believe in democracy, these people do not fundamentally do not believe in free speech at all. This is exactly what I mean. Every accusation that the radical left is out there to try to cancel you, to try to silence you, to try to take away your rights and your civil liberties and your free speech, yeah, it's actually them. And they're very open about it. And they're very, very open about it. They don't care. Not anymore. They straight up don't believe in the Constitution. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, several of them have already said that in this 2-minute clip alone.
So this fucking country is so gay. I hate this country. I hate this country. I hate this country.
Hey, then get out. What is it that the saying that conservatives used to say? If you don't like it, leave. Please. What? Go. Yeah, there we go. Love it or leave it. Thank you, Memo. There we go. Yeah, what was it? Love it or leave it. Let's go. Pack it up, buddy. Come on. I'll help you pack. There you go. I love like the levels of irony of like making a movement America first while also being like, I hate it. I need to I need to leave. And this country has gone woke. It's time to pack it up. Exactly. HI bureaucrat. So yeah, like the irony. Yeah. So needless to say, America first isn't really America first. It's a euphemism. Okay. I don't know what that is. Anyways, good meme. Nice. Thank you. So when President Biden says that like MAGA Republicans and like the MAGA, like the far right extreme movement is a threat to democracy, yeah, that is an unironic like comment. It's completely true. These people don't believe in free and fair elections. These people don't believe in democracy. These people are fundamentally in this ideology, this fascistic, this theo-fascist, I guess, ideology is just incompatible with any type of democratic system. The suspension of critical thinking through narrative fictions are that trigger the fight or flight response. Oh. Orwell's creation of 84 is Newspeak, a form of English? Yes, that's true. The Newspeak has eliminated word bad and replacing it. Yeah. That's right. If you don't have the word for a thing, you cannot discuss the thing, which is the point. This is why the dictionary is the most important book. It is literally a book of concepts that if you don't know the word, you don't know the concept. Every word you do not know is a blank spot in what you can talk about. That's a very good point. Language is the best. Language is the effing best. The best human technology, hands down. Document seized from Trump home describe foreign government nuclear capabilities. A document describing a foreign government's military defenses, including its nuclear capabilities, was found in the FBI search last month of former President Trump's Florida home, the Washington Post reported on Tuesday. The Post report, which cited people familiar with the matter, did not identify the foreign government discussed in the document, nor did it indicate whether the foreign government was friendly or hostile to the U.S. An FBI spokesperson declined to comment on the report. Trump representatives did not immediately respond to comment. The FBI recovered more than 11,000 documents, government documents and photographs during its August 8th search at the Mar-a-Lago estate, according to court records. According to the Post report, some of the seized documents detailed top secret U.S. operations that required special clearance, not just top secret clearance. Some of the documents are so restricted that even some of the Biden administration's senior-most national security officials were not authorized to review them. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating Trump for removing government records from the White House after he departed in January of 2021 and storing them at Mar-a-Lago. On Monday, a federal judge agreed to Trump's request to appoint a special master to review the records seized in the FBI search, a move that is likely to delay the Justice Department's criminal investigation. Which is the point. I mean, the courts are becoming more political. Who appointed the judge that did this? That is appointing the special master. Who appointed that judge again? But didn't he declassify those documents that were planted? Right. I don't know. The narrative changes as needed. And Florida banned certain dictionaries from school temporarily. Yeah, that's just wild. Replace becoming with highly in that tweet or whatever that was. That's right. If he had declassified them, he would have been saying it a year ago and shown the paper trail. Yeah, but first of all, yeah, you're right. There's no evidence that he declassified any of these documents. Number two, it is not relevant to the investigation at hand as to whether or not they were classified or declassified. That's an irrelevant factor. Alright, I'm going to have to look that word up because I have no idea what that means. Okay. It's the use of many words where fewer would do, especially in a deliberate attempt to be vague or evasive. Huh. Well, I learned something today. It means to talk around something. Yeah, the use... Oh, okay. Especially in a deliberate attempt to be vague. Gotcha. Are you here tomorrow? Yes, I am here. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So I... Wait. Yep, I'll be here tomorrow. I'm just trying to plan my birthday. What? Is your birthday tomorrow? Well, don't plan it around me. It's your day. I'm trying to fill 4 hours? All right. Well, I'll be here. Just, The circumlocution is very helpful for learning a new language. You get a word you don't know, so the teacher has to talk around it. Huh. Interesting. I'll likely be here with booze. Hey! That's what I want to hear. Actual party is on Saturday. Nice. For example, saying a tool used for cutting such things as a paper and a hair instead of using... Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, it's something... So, an object that has round... No, that's not it. An object that would have round tires that you can use to get around would be a form of circumlocution. Circumlocution. Okay, hold on. Google.
Circumlocution.
Circumlocution. Gotcha. Gotcha. An orange tinted over... Wait, I know this one. Imagine, like, reading about how, like, the former president potentially had in his possession documents about foreign governments' nuclear capabilities, and then like somehow formulate the opinion that like Biden is like the worst president since Bush. The use of many words or fewer would do. Oh, yeah. That's the Google definition I found. All right. Yeah, which then goes into this article. Mar-a-Lago, a magnet for spies after a nuclear file reportedly found. Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's get into this one here. Wells Fargo shut down the accounts of several sex workers. That's messed up. Wells Fargo doesn't exactly have a good track record, to be honest. Oh, I see.
Hello.
So there's a crazy story here. All right, guys. So there's a crazy story here that I want to share with you. Sex workers say Wells Fargo shut their bank accounts, quote, destroying our livelihoods. And this doesn't really appear to be like isolated incidents. It looks like it's happened to a number of people.
I wouldn't use the New York Post. Okay.
And some of it's probably people who haven't even said anything about it yet, but there's been a few high-profile ones that have come out. So here's what they say. Wells Fargo has inexplicably terminated the bank accounts of several high-profile individuals in the sex industry, one of whom took to Twitter and slammed the bank for the move. Quote, I don't bounce checks. I've never done anything bad with my bank account. I don't have fraud alerts or do chargebacks. Alana Evans, an adult performer who is also the president of the Adult Performance Artists Guild, said in a tearful Twitter video that was posted on Friday. Evans read a letter that she received from Wells Fargo informing her that after a 30-year banking relationship, her account would be discontinued. Quote, a bank that I've done business with for 30 years decided that I'm not worthy of a relationship with them, she said, adding, how am I supposed to pay my bills? How am I supposed to get paid? This is her, of course, tearing up in the video.
I would say, like, yeah, Wells Fargo has had quite a history of doing some messed up stuff. Yeah.
Post has sought comment from Wells Fargo. In the letter received by Evans, the bank stated that it performs ongoing reviews of its account relationships in connection with the bank's responsibilities to manage risks in its bank.
It's Kyle. I know. I know that sometimes, yeah.
Operations. Wells Fargo made the decision to terminate Evans' account as a result of this review, as per the bank's letter. So they apparently responded to the New York Post and they said, yeah, we reviewed it and we axed it. Okay. Spike Irons and Sophie Marie, a married couple who jointly run the Las Vegas-based pornographic production company Yummy Girl Studios, told Rolling Stone magazine that they too were informed by Wells Fargo that their account would be decommissioned effective October 13th. They told Rolling Stone that Wells Fargo sent them a letter last month shortly after they cashed a check that Marie earned from recently posing for Hustler. The bank account was used to pay salaries to independent contractors as well as actors and production staffers. That's the letter right there that she was talking about. Irons and Marie said they have applied to at least 2 other banks, both of which rejected them. So this is the first thing you probably thought is, well, hold on. So if this bank is canceling it, right or wrong for whatever reason, just go to another bank, problem solved. Other banks are rejecting them. They said they fear they will not be able to pay their workers once their Wells Fargo account shuts down in a month. Quote, we're a tax-paying business that has been operating consistently since 2016, Irons said.
That's messed up.
Tell me how we are high risk. Wouldn't they have dumped us years ago? Leah Way, who is an adult content creator who earns an income from a campsite, said she too received notice that her account would be disabled even though she's been a customer in good standing with the bank for 6 years. Quote, in this line of work, the feeling of being discriminated never really goes away. Way, who is searching for another bank okay, why can I not read even though this is my job? Way, who was searching for another bank willing to take her on, told Rolling Stone. Quote, with that feeling, I am always expecting the other shoe to drop. She added, to have a business terminate your relationship when you've done nothing wrong or illegal, it sucks. Financial lenders may have been scared off by a lawsuit filed earlier this summer in California, where Serena Fleitas claimed in court papers that she fell victim to revenge porn after an ex-boyfriend posted an explicit video to Pornhub that was filmed when she was just 13 years old.
Jesus
Fleitas'
Christ.
lawsuit named credit card giant Visa, which was accused of facilitating the dissemination of child pornography. In response, both Visa and MasterCard stopped processing payments for Pornhub's advertising arm, Traffic Junkie. Over the weekend, Instagram suspended Pornhub's official account, which had 13.1 million followers. At the time, it was shut down by the app's corporate parent, Meta Platforms Incorporated. Okay, so now we know what led to this happening. What led to this happening is basically revenge porn was posted, and it was revenge porn with a minor, and, that's a crime. And so you have all these lawsuits flying around now at whoever was even tangentially related to that revenge porn being posted. And then you have the banks and, the social media outlets sort of overreacting and cracking down even on people who had absolutely nothing to do with that obviously terrible and illegal revenge porn that was posted. So, in a weird way, this is going to be a weird analogy, but hear me out real quick because it does make sense when you think about it. This is like, it kind of reminds me of Adpocalypse, where you had like a Nestle ad or some mainstream brand ad run on like a white nationalist, or may have even been like a flat out neo-Nazi channel that was on YouTube. And then a whole bunch of media outlets covered that and said, Jesus Christ, look at what's going on YouTube. This is extremist stuff. This is crazy. I mean, you have neo-Nazi channels that are making money from major brands. And so YouTube saw that, overreacted, and basically cut off all of the advertising for all of news and politics for about a week. And I remember I was directly affected by that. Overnight, that's it. They just cut off all your funding. And we fucking panicked. By the way, that's when we started our Patreon account, and that's when you guys saved the show. I didn't know what to do.
There's another thing to add to that. Like, and now my train of thought was derailed.
I was terrified. I mean, shit, it's just like overnight, they're like, yeah, the thing that you do for a living, how about no? And so I went to you guys hat in hand, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man, if you guys support the show, for the love of God, please, hook me up with $2 a month or $5 a month or $7 a month or whatever, because this, we got to fund the show now, because at the time they took away all the funding, and then it's like, can you trust them going into the future? Can you trust them? Because if they did that once, they'll easily do it again, right? If the time comes.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, people like Steven Crowder are very much still being funded, very, very nicely. Yeah.
And so it was the overcorrection, you can call it, where this bad thing happened, but the response was, we don't want to deal with this problem, so just nip everything in the bud and just cut off funding to all news and politics. Similar thing. So you have revenge porn posted with a minor, and you have these businesses that are, around this. Some of them are getting sued, and they're like, look, we don't want to deal with this. Like, so the banks are just like, I don't know, let's just cut off all the adult stars who bank with us. And I think it's really unfair. It reminds me of that old saying. I think it was Obama who was the one who used it. They're using a hatchet when they need a scalpel. Literally nobody is in favor. I should be clear. No reasonable person is in favor of revenge porn being posted, and certainly revenge porn with a minor. No, gotta axe that, gotta get rid of that. I understand the motivation of the people who are the victims of that to try to get justice. That makes perfect sense, and I'm with them on that. But to the institutions, you can't just destroy the livelihood of these sex workers who have done nothing wrong because some other bad thing unrelated to them happened. So, I feel for them. I really do. Because
the issue here fundamentally is that Wells Fargo and a lot of these financial institutions are, already pretty much skeptical and discriminatory against sex workers. So yeah, they just took this as a way to just cut them off.
What happened to them is totally unfair. And now you have other banks rejecting them as well. Again, they're not the problem. They didn't do anything wrong. What they're doing is illegal. They're tax-paying American citizens. You got to allow them to live, man. You got to allow them to live. And I hope that this doesn't create a situation where, now it's almost like a social credit score thing where it's these are the undesirables and we're just going to try to, disenfranchise all the undesirables from everyday things that we all need. So, not good. It's also very puritanical, too. It's very puritanical. It's very authoritarian to say, we don't approve of just the whole general field that you're in, even though that field is legal and you've done nothing wrong. So now you're going to struggle as a result of it. So
that's not the take of it I would give. I would say that, I think that probably you can go to, you can probably point to capitalism, right?
Anyway, I think you guys get the gist of it. I hope that this is just a temporary overcorrection, and then they'll reel it back and they'll apologize and they'll allow them to participate in society. Because if they don't do that, man, that's really messed up and that's really dark, and it also lays a terrible precedent. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all in.
Okay, I think the takeaway is sure, it's completely unfair, but I think the analysis should be well, that's capitalism. You could also make an argument that the banks are anti-small business. Yeah, because capitalism. Capitalism is interested in, it's fundamentally opposed to more competition. They're anti-small business by definition. Okay, so we're going to finish this one here. The Mar-a-Lago Palm Beach Resort and residence where Donald Trump reportedly stored nuclear secrets are among a trove of highly classified documents for 18 months since leaving the White House as a magnet for foreign spies. Yeah, no kidding. The Washington Post reported that a document describing an unspecified foreign government's defenses, including its nuclear capabilities, was one of many highly secret papers Trump took away from the White House when he left in January of 2021. There's also documents marked SAP for special access programs, which are often about U.S. intelligence operations, whose circulation is very severely restricted even among administration officials with top security clearance. Potentially most disturbing of all were the papers stamped HCS, Human Control System. It's involving human intelligence gathered from agents in enemy countries whose lives would be in danger if their identities were compromised. The Office of Director of National Intelligence is conducting a damage assessment review, which is focused on the sensitivity of the documents, but U.S. officials say that it's a job of the FBI counterintelligence to assess who may have gained access to them. That is a very wide field. The home of a former president with a history of being enthralled by foreign autocrats, distrustful of U.S. security services, and boastful about his knowledge of secrets is an obvious foreign intelligence target. I know that national security professionals inside government, my former colleagues, are shaking at their heads at what the damage might have been, said John Brennan, the former CIA director. I'm sure Mar-a-Lago was being targeted by Russian intelligence and other intelligence services over the course of the last 18 to 20 months, and if they were able to get individuals into that facility and access those rooms where those documents were and made copies of those documents, that's what they would do. But also, fuck John Brennan. Wasn't that the Trump guy? That surprise Pikachu face. Yeah. We got one of those. Hold on. Where are my emotes? Why can't I see mine? Oh. There we go. Last month, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project reported that Russian-speaking immigrants from Ukraine was able to mingle with the former president's family and friends at Mar-a-Lago, posing as Anna de Rothschild, presenting herself as being an heiress of the banking dynasty. Oh my goodness. Ina Yash, I'm not even going to pretend I know this, the daughter of a truck driver who emigrated to Canada, regaled those around her with tales of vineyards and estates and growing up in Monaco, and even met with the former president in person, getting herself photographed with him on a golfing green. There's no evidence that Yashin, well, okay, like I said, I'm not even going to try, was a spy, but the episode underlined how easy it is to get into Mar-a-Lago. During the Trump presidency, 2 Chinese women were caught trespassing there on separate occasions. One of them, Yuan Zhang, was a possession of 4 mobile phones, a laptop, an external hard drive, and thumb drive, later found to carry malware. In her hotel room, investigators found 9 USB drives, 5 SIM cards, and a signal detector device for spotting hidden microphones or cameras. She was found guilty of unlawfully entering a restricted building and making false claims to a federal officer and deported to China in 2021. The guests, invited or otherwise, are not the only security concern. In 2021, Trump Organization sought 87 foreign workers for positions at Mar-a-Lago with wages starting at $11.96 an hour. Any competent foreign intelligence service, whether those belonging to China, Iran, or Cuba, certainly including Russia, are and were interested in gaining access to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Nice job. Very good. All right, we've got one debunk, and then we're out of here. This guy's just too fun to dunk on. Can't miss that opportunity. Lay it on me.
MSNBC's Tiffany Cross, again, the entire left-wing media have now mobilized in support
what? MSNBC is not left-wing.
Of the idea that the United States is in the middle of a civil war. And as you'll see, this is bipartisan because you started to see a reactionary response from the right. Trump was always a reactionary. Trump was always a reaction to the left. The left is the mobilizing force on behalf of the idea that they ought to be the dominant force in every area of political culture, and if you oppose them, you need to be steamrolled. Here's MSNBC's Tiffany Cross talking about the civil war.
That's literally not how it happened.
These days, it feels like we are not just at the brink of a civil war, but that one has already begun. Trump supporters are already speaking the language of violence. They're threatening the FBI,
True.
the DOJ, the
True.
state itself, and this is all as they defend their dear leader. Now, it's more
True.
than just threats, though. Their rhetoric has already led to actual violence, and there is
True.
likely more to come, and I don't need to remind you how the MAGA mob sacked the Capitol on January 6th in an effort to overturn the 2020 election. More than 40% of Americans think a civil war is likely in the next decade. That's a big number.
I keep talking this thing up. I think that's why you believe that. When you label half the American public the enemy, that is not a rarity. Charles.
That, first of all, it's not the half. It's not a direct 50-50 split. You know that, right? That's a misrepresentation. Like 50% of the country isn't like representative of like the entirety of like MAGA, and I don't think Joe Biden said that specifically 50% of the country is the enemy. I think he said his quote, his direct quote was, MAGA Republicans were a threat to democracy. That's what the quote was.
Charles Blow, the worst columnist of the New York Times, he spent the weekend going back to the 2008 slander that everybody who opposed Barack Obama was a bitter clinger.
I think that Democrats get kind of beat over the head and they kind of back away when they tell the truth. Telling the truth becomes a political sin.
The eyebrows.
Barack Obama told the truth when he talked about people clinging to their guns and their Bibles. Hillary Clinton told the truth when she said that there were deplorable people in the Republican Party supporting Donald Trump, and he was exciting a lot of racism and misogyny and bigotry.
Okay, meanwhile, you have Mehdi Hassan over on MSNBC, who when he was
I
not
mean,
working
that's true. That happened. But okay.
for Al Jazeera is over at MSNBC, spouting nonsense, saying that it's about time to jail Donald Trump. We should do that. Yeah, this is definitely going to bring down the tensions in the country and move us toward a unity that is externally facing. Solid stuff here from Mehdi Hassan.
You can understand why I chuckled when one reporter asked this question at a recent White House press briefing.
Is the White House at all concerned, given the domestic political climate, but also the signal that it sends to the rest of the world, that the Department of Justice carried out this sort of operation on a former president that could even create the appearance of politically motivated prosecutors?
The rest of the world is probably wondering why he hasn't been prosecuted yet. Why we are a weird global outlier when it comes to giving former leaders some kind of blanket immunity from prosecution.
I mean, the reason that we don't typically prosecute the people who are the former president is because it leads to massive internal division.
No. No, that's not entirely true at all. And second of all, so in other words, a president can do something so heinous and so criminal and we just can't prosecute them? Wait, where's the whole rule of law? With law and order? No? No? I guess that's out the window? So I guess like that whole like narrative about like, you know, Democrat attorney generals aren't prosecuting. I mean, that's literally what Ben wants, I guess, right? We're not prosecuting the crimes. Like we're just causing too much division. Yeah, Ben Shapiro is a Harvard trained lawyer. Yeah, so in other words, he's lying and he knows what he's doing.
That would be the reason.
No, I mean, you prosecute a president or otherwise, it doesn't matter, right? Because that's where the evidence leads. If that's the case, then so be it.
Liz Cheney continues her job of apparently just playing offense on behalf of Democrats. She says Republicans are responsible if there's violence. She says Trump is attacking law enforcement and yet again using language he knows will provoke violence. Only one group of Americans has a chance to diminish this danger, Republicans. If my fellow Republicans fail to step up to stop this, they will share the blame for all that follows. Now, again, no Republican, no one, Democrat or Republican, should perform acts of violence.
But the Republicans are the ones that are doing it, my dude.
Liz Cheney blaming one side of the political aisle about 2 years after we saw the biggest riots in American history, the most damaging riots in American history.
Whataboutism? Nope. Whataboutism? And secondly, like, what Liz Cheney said here is correct. There are literal threats of violence. There have been incidents of actual violence where people have attacked the FBI. One guy decided to engage in a shootout. There have been numerous threats. I mean, and these are all Republicans who's committing the violence at the insurrection in January 6th, right? Like,
is quite something. Meanwhile, of course, this drives the right into spasms of apoplexy. The right responds in kind. And it turns out that when half the population is targeted as
it's not half the population. Stop.
Clingers, as Barack Obama did in 2008, or deplorables, as Hillary Clinton did in 2015, or now as semi-fascists, as Joe Biden is doing now, it turns out that that's going to drive a similarly, shall we say, disproportionate opposition. Here is Donald Trump of the weekend calling Joe Biden an enemy of the state.
Joe Biden came to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to give the most vicious, hateful, and divisive...
Wait, Donald Trump is the one that said Biden is the enemy of the state. Biden never said that. Biden never said this quote. Ben Shapiro is super fucking dishonest. Biden never said this. The title of the video says Biden says MAGA is the enemy of the state. That's not what he said.
Divisive speech ever delivered by an American president, vilifying 75 million citizens plus another probably 75 to 150.
That's not half the population. 75 million? which we're going to be very generous and just use that number of people who voted for him, that is not half the population.
If we want to be accurate about it, as threats to democracy and as enemies of the state. You're all enemies of the state. He's an enemy of the state. You want to know the truth? The enemy of the state is him and the group that control him.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yikes. The group that control him. The truth was never a priority with this form of mass media. Oh, yeah, no. The truth is not necessary. Critical thinking, please leave it at the door. This is a cult.
Okay, again, this sort of language is, you can see he's responding directly in kind to Joe Biden.
No,
right?
he's not.
He's correct that Joe Biden gave a vicious speech targeting half Americans.
No. Stop.
Trump, for his part, is targeting Biden personally, which is typical politics, right? Biden has targeted Trump personally. Trump is targeting Biden personally. Bottom line, though, is the internal divisions in the West right now are the opening for China. Right? That is what is required to lead to the miscalculation.
What? The video is Biden says MAGA is the enemy of the state. I thought we were going to get another analysis of the Biden speech.
That will lead to political violence and economic stagnation. It's other countries assessing that the West is weak that leads to conflict. Whether you're talking about Osama bin Laden assessing the West as a paper tiger, and so he's going to go ahead and do 9/11, or whether you are talking about the Nazis looking at the West in 1938 and thinking, okay, well, we can do whatever the hell we want because, man, no one's going to stop us. It is that, whether you're talking about Vladimir Putin this year, deciding the West was miscalculating and deciding that the West was not unified, the West was falling apart. Now's the time to push, right? Push where there's mush, in the words of Stalin.
But, so is it weak or not? Okay, you're not making sense, my friend. Yeah, Dark Brandon called us semi-fascist, and I feel called out. Interesting. Ben Shapiro's a well-known propagandist. Even in Norway, we know about this liar. Yeah, 100%.
The West had better get with it pretty damn quickly. And listen, there is a chance...
What is the West? Is the U.S. the West? We're talking about American politics, dude. We're talking about American politics. What does that have to do? Okay, I know you have studied up, but how fast does he talk? Yeah, I know. I know.
That the West will. It is unclear at this point whether we are about to, as I say, the 1980s is a thing that happened after the 1970s. The question is how fast we get to the 1980s or whether we get there at all.
What? What is he on about? Biden says that I never got that quote. So what President Biden actually said was that MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy. That's it. It's not satire, it's propaganda. 74.5 voted for Trump, 81 million voted for Biden. So yeah, 74.5 is not half the country. Despite how many times Ben Shapiro says it's not half the country. Phenomenal stuff. Ben's alternative fact doesn't care about our feelings. That's true. That's very, very true. All right. Well, we did it, folks. We got through it, okay? We freaking did it. We had a phenomenal opener with that troll. A wonderful raid by Johnny Scarlet. I need a blunt right now? Yeah. Thank you, Ben Shapiro. You can thank Ben Shapiro. A phenomenal raid by Johnny Scarlet. I appreciate all the new follows. Thank you, guys. Bipedal Meatbag with the 100 biddies. Alio with the 12 biddies. You guys are what makes this channel grow. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you guys so much. Please, feel free to spread the word if you guys enjoy the content. Make sure you do the follows and all that awesome stuff. Yeah, literally right at the opening of the stream, some troll decided to come in, yeah. He stepped into the wrong stream. Wrong stream. 60% of voters cast their vote in person on election day in response to COVID. Many states expanded, yes, the mail-in voting. Increased early voting period to prevent the crowding at the polls. With those changes, almost 70% of voters used non-traditional methods to cast their ballot in 2020. Right. Because it's easier. Here's the link. Thank you. Anyone that wants to check this out, feel free to check it out. Interesting resources. It was definitely one of the highest turnouts we've had. That's for sure. I'm only voting by mail now. Yeah, I mean, it's simple. It's simple. It's convenient. You don't have to do anything. It's great. All right, folks. I've got to get going. It's about that time, almost 8 o'clock. And I'm hungry too. If you guys enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. Join us on the YouTubes. Oregon is all vote by mail. Nice. Join us on the YouTubes. Hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. If you want to keep up with the channel, join us on the Discord. You get updates, all the stuff that I'm going over for the day. Make sure you join that there. If you want to keep up with the channel, spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for the news, for the politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us on Sundays around noon Eastern Time, generally around noon Eastern Time for Sunday Fun Days. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. Thank you for all the new follows. Thank you, Johnny Scarlet, for the raid. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. Thank you. I see you, Czech Bureaucrat. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Echo Rusted Dragon, Bipedal, Alio. Thank you guys so much. Maple Leaf Dragon, Elwa, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Memo for the record, Maple Leaf Dragon, Cheeseburger, Freedom, Eagle, amazing username. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Cosmic Seeking, Phenomenaticus, that's a great username too. Thank you guys as always. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.